we want to apologize for what happened to Christian.
Flanked by Christian Glass's parents and Christian Glass's artwork, Democratic Governor Jared Polis apologized.
What happened should not have happened.
Apologized for the lack of action of 2 gaming officers and a state trooper who, with other officers, surrounded Christian's car last June and said nothing as a deputy broke a window, tased him, and shot him 5 times in the chest. An assault on a man in a mental health crisis who had called 911 for help.
Part of the tragedy of the event is if it had occurred one county over, as an example, in Summit County, they have a co-response model that's very effective. In fact, we highlighted that as a model.
Sally and Simon Glass's $19 million settlement with Clear Creek County, Idaho Springs, Georgetown, and the state requires Clear Creek County to set up a crisis co-responder team like the one 10 miles over the county line from where Christian was shot. The governor told me that response is key.
When somebody's undergoing a mental health crisis, as Christian was, the best response usually includes a mental health professional, a social worker. It's not necessarily the heavy law enforcement response.
Our reporting has found that the Clear Creek County Sheriff resisted a crisis response team for years leading up to the shooting. Today, I asked the governor if the state should require this in hesitant departments across Colorado.
We're not stepping on their toes, but I do think it's fair to say, what are the minimum standards that we need to have, and how can we make sure that what happened to Christian doesn't happen to anyone else here in our state?
The governor said he'll continue pushing for state financial support for these programs and praised the Glass family for using this settlement to force change.
It's so hard when this happens. I can't even imagine happening to your son as a father, but they are trying to be a force for making sure that this happens less often in America and in the state of Colorado.
The pieces of artwork you saw there at the top of the story, they will hang in the governor's office in the state capitol as part of this settlement agreement. Today, the governor told Simon and Sally Glass that the artwork will help keep Christian in the hearts and minds of anyone in that office who is making policy. Glass family plans to use the proceeds from their settlement to start a foundation in their son's name, help other young people as well. They're also going to continue some of this advocacy work to try to do the kind of reform that might have prevented the situation from happening in Clear Creek County.
We talk about intervention and de-escalation, and sometimes we see these stories play out in the matter of seconds. This one was not something that happened suddenly. There was all sorts of time for this to go in a completely different direction.
70 minutes between the time 2 deputies arrived and the time Christian was shot. And throughout much of that call, there's a bit of de-escalation. They're trying to talk to him and calm things down, but they're insistent on him getting out of the car. And really and truthfully, the decision to break the window, shoot him with beanbag rounds, and tase him may have led to that shooting. And that's going to be sorted out by the court.
And you've covered this so extensively from the very beginning. I think you opened a lot of eyes and you made sure all of us in the media and everybody, held accountable for this, didn't let this situation go.
Christian's parents say that if they had not hired an attorney and gotten this body camera video, that this settlement would never have happened. They credit Shanine McLean and her settlement in Elijah's case, which then changed law, made it a lot more accessible to get body camera video for them to be able to come to this settlement. They hope to try to make some potential change like Shanine did down the road to prevent this for somebody else.
That's the idea. If there is a victory, it would be in change.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Steve.